Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this meeting. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting of the Charles City Community School District to order, and we will have a roll call, please.
President Gabrick,
Here.
Vice President Fox. Here. Board Member Dr. Schroeder.
Here.
Board Member Mack.
Here.
Board Member Yeager. Here.
Thank you. We can have the reading of the district mission and vision statement from Vice President Kathy Fox.
Our mission to challenge all students to achieve their full potential through engaging, responsive educational experiences that inspire innovation, critical thinking, and collaboration. And our vision to develop learners who are confident, compassionate problem solvers.
Make motions for the agenda.
Make a motion for the agenda. Second.
I'll second.
And properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Welcome all our visitors. Do we have any public comment? Anyone out there have a public comment? Seeing none, we can move on to motions on the consent agenda.
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as written.
I'll second.
He's properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Move on to administrator and director superintendent report. Dr. Knight.
So I'd like to welcome the bowling team to present for as part of the superintendent report. So come on up and talk about the great things that have happened in bowling this year. What a great year we had.
These are records from when we started 12 years ago. Well, I might as well give you a little history while she was passing out medals. In 2012, I was still working at Cambrex, and during one of my days off, I was bowling with seniors to bowl with my dad, just to be with him, and in come a bunch of kids. They were from Buffalo Center, and there was another team from Tripola. They meet in the middle, so they didn't have to drive as far. And I asked Mark Berry and Peggy Sweet what was going on, and they said, well, this is high school bowling. Well, I knew one of the coaches, and I talked to him because I umpired for 25 years, baseball, softball, did track, and so I talked to him too. How do you go about getting bowling team? Because we have a fantastic junior league in Charles City. And I knew if I took 5 of them kids, we could beat any of them. I saw what was going on. So Peggy Sweet, Tad Berry, and I attended school board meetings from 2012, and in 2013, it was approved that Charles City would have bowling. So in 2014, we were sanctioned with the state at that time, and that's when Comet Bowling started. You ready yet? I'll give you a little more history. The very first year, our boys team made it state, and my assistant coach was Jerry Mitchell at that time, and the two of us got it off, started pretty good. I think very first year we got a 3rd place trophy. The second year, his son Tyler joined him. And, I think we both got third place trophies the second year. Except there was a little mistake and the girls had to give the trophy back that year. There was a scoring error. That was really tough. To give a trophy back, but, we did it. If you look on the back page, the front of the back page, it shows you the number of years that we have made it to state. On the left is the boys. The boys have made it to state 11 out of 12 years. This year was a very, very good year for us. We got second place at state. That trophy that Casey's handing over right now. And the girls had a great year too. We both made it to state. The girls really battled that district. We were never over 30 pins ahead, and we only trailed in the second game. It was 15 games of Baker. For those that don't know what Baker is, you have 5 on a team. The first bowler bowls the first frame, second bowler bowls the second, fifth bowler bowls the fifth, and you start over again. Fifth bowler bowls the 10th frame. Of course, you want your best bowler in the number 10 spot, so hopefully they strike out. But the girls battled through and we made it to state. It's your turn, Casey.
Yeah, no, this year was great, especially knowing that we came off of a year where we lost 4 seniors last year. Very young team. I didn't know if we were gonna make it to state this year. I didn't know how we were gonna do it, and we did great. I love bowling. They're bringing that love back to my life that I lost when I left. That's a beautiful thing about it. Beautiful thing about bowling is anybody can be a bowler, and I truly believe that. You have so many kids that aren't in any other athletic or group organization, either part of our team. So we can reach the good kids. And I just kept telling people we have a good team. We're not the best in the world. We're just really good people. If you've never been a part of a bowling alley before and a part of that system and that family, it's incredible. I grew up in a bowling alley. Those are the people that have supported me day in and day out. And I told these kids at our banquets a couple weeks ago, this is your family. These are the people who have seen all the good in you, maybe the not so good times, and you're gonna love this part of your life. Bowling is for anybody and everybody. I really love coaching them. They're fun. They like to give me some crap sometimes, but that's it. All the time, yes.
Do you want to
You
ask
guys,
a question?
can you stick your names and grades? I'm curious to know, like, what grades, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm Jason Lopez, I'm senior. I'm Sullivan Earlman, I'm also senior. I'm Noah White, I'm a junior.
I'm Hunter Beamer, I'm a junior. Joey Roble, I'm a junior. I'm Logan Beamer, I'm a freshman.
I'm Kayla Strife, I'm a senior.
I'm Haley Brewer, I'm a freshman. I'm Noel Berry, I'm a freshman. I'm Kinley Bond, I'm a junior. I'm Lily Bowden, I'm a freshman.
Limited to 6 people, it's like, we're not. How do you get on the team? Try out or?
We practice every night of the week that we don't have a meet. Dana Sullivan made a program for us. She's really handy with the computer. We record every game they bowl. Usually on Wednesdays, we have what is called a roll-off, and it's a competition among ourselves. And to get on varsity, you have to score well in the roll-offs. And when we have a meet, you have to score well. JV, their scores go in. And there was just one time this year where a JV kid got hot and knocked out one of our varsity guys, but it's pretty straightforward. You have to score to be there, so.
You guys want to bail the banners and put up the hardware so I get a good picture? Yeah, get in there for a good picture.
How many meets are in a season?
Pardon?
How many bowling meets?
The state allows 12 per year,
Like, where they go to?
some state and then state.
Or that's.
Yeah. Get those trophies in the middle somewhere, right?
Yeah. You guys
You want the trophies in the middle?
should be like, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Trophies in the middle, you man. Travis, talk through this.
The big stand out of the way.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
This is all your hardware from just this year.
Just
Yes. I believe.
we bring home a lot of stuff. That was what I was really surprised about my first year coaching. A lot of stuff, it's pretty cool.
I have a question. Do they each have, are you each allowed to have your own bowling balls or is there rules about what you have to use for the ball?
Yeah, well, that's why they have like these pro shops. You can go down there, you can get your own ball. As long as it's like fully regulated under state law for that sport.
Do they check you before the meets to know if it's like, how do they know?
Guys need to scoot shit. Yeah.
So case you can stand it. There you go.
Like, I remember I hated it. Bring the, find that out. You got it. You're here. Smiles, no blinking.
And some of you don't use the holes in the ball, right? A bunch of you do the.
I use 2 fingers.
Okay.
I know this.
Okay.
Well, 2 handers like that, too, you gotta go over to come home. Yeah.
Oh, good to know.
What other questions do you have about bowling?
It's a fantastic atmosphere. If you haven't been to one, it's a fantastic atmosphere. They really cheer for each other. I mean, super cheer for each other. And the place is packed. And
Who's the top bowling race?
For the ladies and.
No for the boys and only for the girls. Our freshmen are good too.
Can they start in middle school or does it have to be high school?
Have to be freshmen to participate in.
We have some unofficial, like middle school bowling, but that's after our season concluded, just a little bit. Nothing crazy, but then there's youth league through the town, the Comet Bowl, many of our bowlers, actually, I think. Every one of them do the league on Saturday mornings. Oh,
Really?
but that's where I started when I bowled. I started in youth league and. If they haven't started that when they join us, because we take people who've never bowled a day in their life except for fun. Other things we like to ask them to do is join youth league. It's a lot of fun, it's a lot of experience, a lot of practice. These kids spend a lot of our team money, which is great. We have a good partnership with the Comet Bowl. They allow us to get $1 off the game, plus we pay $1 so that they can continue to have practice. They only pay a couple bucks per game. So support the Comet Bowl.
Thanks, everybody.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We were off for a week, so I don't have a whole lot more to add. I've been communicating with some of the proposed staffing numbers, and so we'll have more to come on that. But working on that with different employees, and we're looking closely at our staffing to make sure it aligns. Also, you know, we're working on finalizing our insurance for employees, what that'll look like. But it is a significant increase at a 38% or 37.5 or 8% increase in insurance cost. And so the district, I did articulate some of that in my updates to the board. But that will be significant. And even though we're going to absorb significant cost, increase in cost, the district can pay more. It's still going to affect employees. They're going to have to pay more in a substantial way. So That's about all I had for the update.
We need to move that microphone back.
Oh, sure, if it's anything. I don't think anybody's got it.
So, move on to committee reports. We didn't have any committee, did we?
No.
So we can move on to new business action items. We'll start with Anderson Larkin. C contract. Just need a motion. Continue with Anderson.
Or auditing, right?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Anderson Larkin Company PC contract for fiscal year 2026. That's a 2-year contract?
It's a 3-year.
3-year through 2028.
Yeah.
One second.
Properly moved and second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we can proceed to vote. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion will carry. Move on to set the date, time, and place for public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 26-27 property tax. Motion's from the floor.
Make a motion to set the public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 26-27 property tax for March 30th. At 12 PM at Central Services at 1204 First Avenue, Charleston.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion will carry. We can now move on to set the date, time, and place for the public hearing of the sale of real property. Take motions for the floor on that. That's the little piece next to.
Yep.
The
Next to
old
the
school.
Old building.
Just the-
Triangle.
The little
Yeah.
triangle pieces.
I'll make a motion that we approve to set the public hearing on the sale of real property for April 13th at 5:30 PM in the high school library. 1 County Drive, Charles City, Iowa.
One second.
Probably moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we can proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion will carry as well. Now now move on to public hearing on the proposed school calendar for 26-27 and 27-28. We need a motion, or we're just in the public hearing?
It's just.
It's just about, yeah. public hearing.
I need to read this one portion.
I don't think you're required to read.
No,
No,
there
I
were
think so.
0 written comments or objections received prior to this hearing, so.
Did anyone have any comments on that? Right. So we can move on from there, right? Don't need any further action. We now move on to E-rate internal connections. To upgrade the quantity of 96 wireless access points that will no longer be supported starting July 26. Motion from the floor.
I'll make a motion to approve the low bid from Riverside Technologies for updating our existing 17 network
Second.
boards.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Proceed to vote. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion will carry. Now move to E-rate internet services.
Next one, I believe. I think that's what
We did internal.
Yeah.
Now we do
Oh,
internet.
so it sounds like someone.
I was thinking.
There's a lot on there, a lot on there for technology.
E-rate.
So I guess I just have some questions, about this and reading, April's contacted, she's not here to talk about it. But, she met the requirement of the minimum time for it to be out. And with MediaCom, pulling their services out of Charles City, not having any local people here, as well as, concerns maybe with some of their services. Do we have any concerns about this long term? I know she's not here, so we can't really ask her.
Right, I know, we're working with the attorneys, and there was a couple of suggestions that we're getting back to MediaCom on, but they were, not significant things.
I mean, so this agreement is a no exit, right? So we can't leave it for any reason?
Uh,
When I read it as.
yeah, for the duration of it, yeah.
Who do we use now?
I believe it was that, the ICN network.
Yeah, the Iowa Communications.
Yeah, that ICN network.
Why can't we just use ICN?
Supposedly MediaCom is a better deal. Now, they've gotten competitive to the point where they're actually a better deal, more affordable for the district. There's also, frequently discussion around the state selling off ICN. I don't know where that is on that process, but MediaCom actually came in at a better rate. This is the first year they've done that with a better rate.
This will be enough bandwidth, I think is the right word, to handle what you need.
April believes that will meet those needs.
So. Is this the final contract or just the bid? 'Cause-
No, this was, for the, this was not we have a contract that there's just we're redlining a couple things, the attorneys redlined a couple things, and so we're getting back to them on it. But it would then, with this approval, we would then, ask Bruce to sign the contract. So we can bring the contract forward too at the next meeting.
So the other thing is, since Power School is kind of critical to operations, if the internet goes down and we can't get to Power School. Do we have a backup internet connection or is there a backup plan? And again, April's not here, so she can't answer those questions. I'm sure she thought about those, but
Sure.
just, ensuring that. Everything kind of runs out of there and we don't have it on us anymore. So if something happens, we can't get to it. What's what they call a service level agreement to ensure that we get back up and running within a certain amount of time, if there's that in the contract.
I do not know that today. I can find out more. I have a copy of it here. I can pull it up.
I mean, I'd be happy to make a motion to approve this, just with the caveat that we put a service level agreement in place with MediaCom that, that we have the ability to get back up within, I don't know, it's 4 hours of reasonable time frame. And if not, then we're down for more than whatever, 2 or 3 days, then we get the opportunity to actually contact and look for other services. We don't have to do that, but we just have the opportunity to do that.
Feel more comfortable if we tabled until our March 30th meeting.
Okay, great. And I'll make a motion to table this.
Have her answer those questions.
Okay.
Yeah, we can have her answer.
It's not like a time sensitive thing.
This one wasn't an E-rate, was it?
No,
I know, I think we can refine tabling it.
Yeah, I make a motion to table this until next meeting.
Yeah, we'll have her all those questions.
Just since we've been out of school, haven't been in the office, John.
Right.
Let's get us the answers.
Right.
If you have questions, it might be best to just email them to her.
Well, and I can send you the red line one we're working on too.
Yeah, nobody seconds it though. So
I'll second. Okay. They probably moved in second to table until March 30th meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So I think this is a standalone.
Oh, that's just a.
No,
It's
it's
a one item.
probably, we would have to adjourn and then we can have another thing, but I already have one other item that we're adjourning and then.
Oh, yeah.
Let's move it to April
Yeah, for
13th.
our,
Great.
The agenda's not set though.
no, not
We can
yet.
add to that agenda.
We would just have
Right.
to. Open
No, I'd
the meeting,
rather-
adjourn it, open, adjourn, and then open and adjourn.
It's a special.
Budget has to be its own.
Budget.
separate-
Oh,
So, I mean, they can
The clerk.
be in the same, but we just have to open, adjourn, open, adjourn, open, adjourn.
Which is fine. We're all together. We can do that.
So when I table it, I'm at the next meeting that we need a table like this, not.
April 13th.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, so
April 13th.
yeah, not the opening for the tax. Sure, that's technically the next meeting.
gotcha.
That's not what I.
Next in session regular meeting.
Yes,
So-
regular meeting, thank you.
April 13th.
Yeah.
So it's been probably moved and seconded for the April 13th meeting. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
All those opposed state sign. That motion will carry. Now move on to Chromebooks.
I'll make a motion to approve the Chromebook quote from CDW totaling $350,910.
A second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we can proceed to vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion will carry. Move on to Pebble renewal. Motion's from the floor.
I make a motion to resolve the resolution ordering election on the question of continuing to levy and oppose a voter approved physical plant and equipment property tax and income surtax.
I'll second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we can proceed to vote. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Lincoln Elementary Fire Panel. Take motions from the floor.
So what's a fire panel?
Fire alarms, where they go.
They're doing a,
Yep, it's a full fire alarm system for the school. We budgeted that, during our little Pebble projects that we put together last, probably in November, whatever you guys approved. So that's our last really old fire system. It's a zone system. So if a fire alarm goes off somewhere there, a smoke head goes off, it tells me an area. It doesn't tell me exactly, like the newer panels. It'll have like, this one in here will have the exact number, so I can walk right to it and give me an exact location. So the last few inspections that we've had on it, we've been wrote up and saying that it's time to get that replaced. So.
So we do have fire
Oh,
section at
yes,
it, it's just the stone rather than the
We
ice.
cannot be open if we don't have a fire. Yep. So this will get that updated, and then with the $4 million project, then this one will be updated. So all the three of the four schools will have the newest version of the fire alarm system. That is an addressable system with voice activation. So when the fire alarm goes off, it'll start talking to you. You can do your paging through the fire alarm system. They're pretty nice, and they're easy when they come and inspect them and stuff. So like on our system at the high school and our system at Lincoln, yeah, they have to send 2 staff to do that because of how hard it is to inspect it with the way they're set up. So.
I make a motion to approve the low bid of $193,426.28 from Summit Fire Protection for the fire panel for Lincoln.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we can proceed to vote. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion also carried. Take motions for the approval of 65 passenger bus bookings.
Is the black bus like the other one, or is this just a regular
No,
bus?
this is one for
They continue to grow.
So one of the questions, do these buses have cameras in them, like multiple cameras inside out?
So every bus that we have, even our old buses, all have 7 cameras, 2 outside cameras and 5 inside cameras, and we use them quite a bit. We've had to use the outside cameras a lot for stop sign violations this year. Been crazy. I spend a lot of time recording those. Currently, they don't self-download, so I have to pull a hard drive out of the bus, but they work really well. And they work so good that when someone does run a stop sign, plain as day, you can see the stop sign. You have to have on a stop sign violation, you have to have 2 cameras. You have to have one facing from the front that shows the license plate, from the back, so you can see that the stop sign is out and flashing when they go through.
These have LED lights inside the bus and they go dark and flash and stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, yep, we have the no child left behind alarms on it. We have seatbelts on any new bus that we buy, and they come with all the cameras. And what's really increased the price on our buses now, because when I first started here, I think 65 passenger bus was around 85,000. But now we bring them with cameras, we bring them with the No Child Left Behind and the seatbelts. The seatbelts alone raise the price of the bus of about $12,000.
All right, I make a motion to approve the low bid for a new 2027 65 passenger bus from school bus sales of $145,143.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Proceed to vote. All those in favor state aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Now proceed to FEH proposal for high school remodel. Chris, you have the floor.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Sorry I'm not there in person. I had every intention to be there and then lousy March weather struck. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, then let me know if you're seeing this. So is everybody seeing kind of the table of numbers from the report?
Yeah.
Okay. As you all know, we were tasked as a follow-up to the $4 million project that we're working on right now with Modus for the HVAC improvements and electrical improvements to the building. We were tasked to look at some of the other items that we had identified when we were looking at the referendum last year, as far as deficiencies, but also kind of other improvements to the high school that we felt and that you all felt were important to try and implement. And so we put together the report that you see in front of you. You all had copies sent to you, I believe, ahead of time. I'm just going to run through these really quickly. We didn't really put these in a list of priorities. That was not really the goal of this. It was mostly just to list them out as almost an a la carte list. And then to provide you some budget ranges. We looked at trying to really narrow down the budgets, but again, with not knowing for sure some of the decisions that might be made and the direction we might go. And again, not knowing with volatility of pricing, whether or not the low end or the high end would be the right number. We wanted to at least give you a range. As it notes at the bottom of the table, these numbers do take into account a healthy contingency, not high, but at least a reasonable contingency with the unknowns that currently are incorporated in each one of these items, and then also design fees. So just going down the list, one of the big things we've talked about all along is the need to remediate the asbestos tile that's in the building. I went through and looked at exactly which rooms appear to have the asbestos tile. We have good photographic evidence of each room now. Modus went back out and took 360-degree photos of every room in the building. So we have a pretty good idea of where exactly all that tile is. So what we've proposed here, and it's really not option one, option two, I just couldn't come up with a better term for it. It's really kind of type 1 and type 2. So in high traffic areas like the corridors, we're recommending removal and replacement with a different type of flooring that can handle the higher traffic areas and hold up to that traffic. So that gives you that price range there. And then in lower traffic areas like the offices, and I described kind of which areas fall under which one of these two options in the descriptions on the following pages. In lower traffic areas like offices and classrooms, actually, we've got just encapsulating them. So going over top of the existing asbestos tile with another type of flooring. Encapsulation is a valid way of remediating asbestos tile. You don't necessarily have to remove it. You can encapsulate it and protect it so it doesn't become friable, is the term, where it breaks up and the fibers of the asbestos get up in the air. The next thing on the list, we talked a lot during the referendum about trying to provide accessibility, the next two items actually, to the stage and to the basement locker rooms beneath the stage, and then also to get to the gym balcony so that could be converted back into a usable space and be accessible. As we discussed at a previous meeting, what we discovered as we were going through and really doing more of an assessment and evaluation of the existing building. The original idea of putting an elevator on the south side of the building and then connecting with a corridor to the lower level locker rooms and to that stage area. There's a really stout beam in there that really kind of prevents us from doing that without going all the way around it and coming in on the south side of the locker rooms. So we looked at and we talked to the state fire marshal's office about the viability of this is using what's called a limited use, limited area elevator. In both of those situations, those cost about half the cost of a normal passenger elevator. They're a little bit smaller because they basically handle one person in a wheelchair at a time, which again provides the accessibility that's really required. So there'd be one placed over where that original concession stand was, and the stairs go up to the balcony. And then the other, that would provide the accessibility to the balcony. And then the other one would go just north of the stage. There's a storage room there on both levels, on the main level and in the basement, in the locker room area, where we could do another one. And then these two prices also include the cost to construct the shaft and cut the hole in the floor for the one that goes down to the locker rooms. The one with the balcony, actually, we shouldn't have to cut through a floor because that's kind of an open space there. Then if we get that accessibility to the balcony, we can go ahead and put the weight room on the gym balcony and then convert the existing weight room back into the high school wrestling room, which it was originally. And this cost includes primarily enclosing that balcony area with a solid wall of kind of a combination of glass and gypsum board. Again, when we were talking about putting the weight room up there, we talked about using putting as much glass as we can there, tempered glass, obviously, since it's a weight room, to really kind of highlight the weight room. It's the equipment in there is expensive, and just to kind of highlight the fact that that's there. Plus, there'll be some work needed, not a ton, in the existing weight room to convert that to the wrestling room. Then the other major thing that we talked about from an accessibility standpoint really were the restrooms. There are three main sets of men's, women's, boys, girls restrooms. The one off the Commons, the one just south of the 500 circle in the intersection there, and then the one on the north end of the 500 circle. We looked originally we talked originally about maybe breaking this out into just what it would cost for each set. But in the end, it just, with the numbers that we were coming up with, we went ahead and just put it in here as a total cost for doing all three sets. Again, we could divide this number out if we needed to. If the board decided they didn't want to spend this much money, we could break it out and do 1, 2, or all three sets. But again, that gives you what that total number might look like. The next item is enhancing the front entrance. Again, we talked at various times about what extent we want to do that, reconfiguring that front entrance, creating a little bit more of a public face that really is attractive and attracts people to the building, but also kind of taking care of a little bit of some of the circulation issues there. This would include the enhancements to that secure entrance that we talked about earlier, being able to make a better path where they can't kind of bypass the office. They kind of come in the entrance, go into the office, get checked in, and then head back into the building. It would also include some enhancements to the commons area, bringing in some additional natural light. And this is one of those places where we've got two options. You could take one or the other. The first one, we would talk about including some additional windows on the north side of the commons, opening up that exterior wall a little bit to bring a little bit more natural light into the commons. And the second one, we could do that along with opening up that west wall of the commons where the main entrance is, again, to bring in a little bit more natural light and create a little bit nicer front entrance experience. The next item is lighting and lighting controls. This was actually originally in the Modus report, and we pulled it out because it isn't something that's necessarily needed to be done today, since Jerry and his team has already gone through and replaced all the light bulbs to LED. But this would actually be going in and replacing the light fixtures themselves with newer, more efficient fixtures. And then also replacing the controls so that you could have better control over, you know, some rooms, for example, the current energy code requires offices to be on occupancy sensors, for example. But just having better control over which lights are on, which lights are off, so you can have a little bit better control over energy usage with the lighting. The next one is one that Matt and I kind of talked about, is just creating a new comic cafe with it where it is right now in the 600 circle. It's a little bit off the beaten path. It's a little bit around the corner. If you remember in the referendum, we had talked about putting it basically in the area where the Commons is now. So it was one of the first things that people experienced as they entered the high school. Without being able to do that and keeping the Commons where it is, we thought it would be worthwhile at least looking at what would be the cost to move it to the south end of the 500 circle. So it's kind of right at the end of that main corridor. So as people come into the building, they turn left and it's right straight ahead as they head towards the classroom section of the building. So that you can see the numbers there. The next one is really taking that center area of the 500 circle. And as you remember in the referendum, we talked about moving the media center back into that area where it was originally when the building was built. And then because the media center doesn't need to be as large as it was at the time, using some of that space to create a maker space, kind of that additional space for collaboration, et cetera, with the students. Moving that back into that area and more fully utilizing the center part of that 500 circle is that one. And then that would allow us to do the next one, which would be fixing the problems that we talked about from a code perspective, as well as create some really good usable classroom spaces in the area where the current media center is, where you guys are sitting today. The classrooms in that area, but then also the fact that we don't have rated corridors, that the walls are those kind of demountable walls that stop at the bottom of the ceilings. Fixing that code issue in that area is that item. And again, it's the biggest item on the list because it's going to require a lot of demolition in that area. But at least we have the ability to do that if we do the one above it when we move this media center over to the center of the 500 circle. And then the last two are really just kind of fixing some of the acoustic issues in some of the classrooms and the 400 circle without spending a ton of money on the circle buildings beyond just fixing the acoustics, installing drop ceilings in some of those rooms in those classrooms to really help with acoustics, aesthetics. It would also help conceal some of the ductwork that may be installed as part of the HVAC project. And it would get rid of that popcorn ceiling effect in those two, in the three circle buildings, and really kind of affect that. And then that would be kind of related to the lighting and lighting controls part of it. As you'll see in the descriptions, those two last items do not include replacing the lighting in those rooms. If you don't do the lighting and lighting controls replacement, we would increase the costs on those two last items to at least replace the lighting in the three circle buildings with that ceiling improvement project. So that's kind of a quick rundown of the various items. You can see the pricing there. Is there any questions right off the bat? Anything else you want me to cover?
I was just wondering about the total at the bottom. Since you have option 1 and 2 under the enhanced front entrance.
Yeah.
What makes up those totals?
Yeah, so the totals, and that's probably something I should have done a little bit differently. I question whether or not to even put that on there. With the option 1 and option 2 under the enhanced front entrance, you're correct. The 8,887,000, if you chose to go with option 2, you'd drop that 571,000 out of it. Same thing with the 10,862. If you went with option 2, you'd drop the 698, and then vice versa. You drop $1 million out if you chose to go with option 1 out of the 8 million, and you drop the $1.2 million out of the 10.8. You're absolutely right on that. I probably should have done that a little bit differently. I apologize for that.
I think it's a good plan. I would go with option 2.
Girl. It was in our, this is all in our funding capacity. It's
Yes, it is.
$18,000.
Yes, it is. We can do this.
The 10, even like,
Is this in addition to the 4 million?
Right. This would be in addition to the 4 million.
but we're not doing any plan giving, we're just moving this over, right?
Well, if you approve this, then we'll bring back a save. A
okay.
proposal to bond against the save. We'll have the public hearing and the notice in the paper.
That shouldn't. It won't change what property taxes are
Nope.
currently.
Nope,
right?
it's the 1 cent sales tax. It's already in place.
If we need a motion, I would say I would approve option 2.
Or
Chris?
a special and,
Correct. Well,
enhanced front entrance.
Yeah.
Those aren't options. Those are
Yeah.
just different ways of doing things. So those are both included. The only
Yeah.
one that's an option is the front entrance.
oh,
Yeah, you're correct on that. The asbestos, we would do both of them. They really shouldn't be called options. I apologize for that, but
okay.
on the enhanced front entrance, those are options. So you do one or the other.
Okay, so there's the encapsulation in the lower traffic areas is the
Just the method of
planned
doing it.
way to do it. It's
Yeah.
not the removal and replacement
Correct.
of tiles.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, we did not include removal and replacement of all of the asbestos tile in that first number. So we're just removing and replacing it in the high traffic areas in the first number and then encapsulating in the lower traffic areas in the second number. Those both would need to be done.
That's fine.
Correct.
Is it, and then on the restroom thing, does it take care of redoing all of the restrooms, Jerry?
It would take care of all three
What I heard, it's
main
all
pairs
set
of reference.
if you approve all three.
But is this also addressing the restroom down by the CTE wing?
That, in that single one? No. It would not
Does
include that.
No.
It wouldn't
So-
include that. There's restroom down by CTE down there. There's one across from the kitchen and a hallway to go down there, a single restroom. And there's the 2 staff bathrooms that are right across from the staff lounge. It doesn't include any of those. Those are ones that we could just budget and remodel ourselves.
Oh,
They don't have to be fully redone. It's just putting in new fixtures, taking care of the walls, the flooring.
And we
Because
can
Those would
do
be,
that.
those would be inexpensive to
because I
do.
remember the CTE conversation had to do with making it,
Circle.
It's only for boys, right?
yeah,
Isn't that the thing with the one down by the, like the egg room is only a boys' bathroom?
Yeah, and then it's actually just a unisex and same with that one right across from the kitchen. They're about probably 30 feet apart.
Okay.
so that we don't need to put that project into this
I-
figure.
That, I mean, that's up to you guys, but I probably wouldn't. I think that's just a project we could do on our own.
But this bathroom includes the ones by the commons.
Correct. It includes the 2 that are right here. It includes the 2 that are in the crossroads and then the 2 in the cafeteria.
Okay,
Chris, on the Comet Cafe, the question came up. We're not moving all the kitchen. This
No.
is moving more of the area where kids currently eat. So there'd be a
This is-
nicer area for kids to eat. And then sometimes different schools will have like a coffee bar in the morning or things like that, or they can do different things with the Comet Cafe type approach. But this would still leave the kitchen in its existing spot, right?
Yeah, it would leave the kitchen, the main kitchen and the commons where they are. This is just kind of that Comet Cafe space that's next to the fax room where they do the kind of serving of the Comet Cafe food or the prep for it, I believe. They have
another
a,
question I had, does this address the hallway that they have to haul the kitchen, the food from the kitchen to the middle school?
it does not. I mean, they would still be hauling the food all the way from the kitchen to the middle school like they do now.
But I mean, are they replacing the flooring that's currently indented from those
It would
carts?
replace the flooring all the way up to the science wing, because the science wing outside of the media center, that all has non-asbestos tile in it. We aren't replacing the tile there, but it would replace it up to basically the north end of the 500 circle.
Are we doing anything to figure out what's causing the backup of water in the Common Cafe where they're having the issue?
I don't think that's anything on this, that's just, drain sizes.
It wasn't part of the discussion, but again, if we redo the Comet Cafe and relocate it, it may mitigate that issue some.
So Chris, we're moving the prep kitchen also? I'm trying to make sure I understand. I didn't think we were moving the kitchen attached to the Comet Cafe. We are moving the kitchen also? I thought it was just the eating area.
That's a great question. This was
Okay.
really kind of driven by Matt.
Yeah, in my
Matt's idea.
conversation with Matt, I thought it was just the eating area.
And
I
that's,
thought the prep kitchen would still remain where it was. So, because I was surprised that the cost was not higher.
yeah, I would agree. That was my understanding as well. Because again, all the plumbing and everything else is there with the fax kitchen right there.
Right. If we're moving the kitchen,
Then
we
that's
need
a
to move it to a place that's closer to the middle school, in my opinion.
Okay.
If we're gonna be moving it somewhere, it needs to be more addressed to that location. We're talking about that travel issue.
And
So-
this was just the Comet Cafe kitchen part.
Right,
So,
but I mean, if
yeah,
we're gonna move the
kitchen.
kitchen and
That makes
everything,
sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
we discussed that over the bond
Yeah.
issue, so. When we're talking about removal and replacement of tiles, is there other options besides replacement? I mean, do we have to put tile back? Is there another cost option?
We talked a little bit about, do we just try and clean and reseal the concrete floor? There are a couple of issues with that, from our perspective. One, it's not gonna look good probably because of the fact that the tile's been on it for as long as it has. You're gonna have a lot of, you're gonna see probably where the joints were in the tile. It's gonna be hard to get that out because it's been there for so long. So you're gonna see kind of the grid pattern of what the tile was for one. It's also, we just don't know, that concrete floor has been covered forever. We just don't know what condition it's gonna be in. You're not gonna get that really high polished look that you would get in like the Walmart floor that you see when they build a brand new
Sure.
Walmart, for example. So Matt and I talked about it and we felt that it's probably gonna be better to go back over it with some sort of durable flooring material, whether that's VCT, which is what you have in that science wing, or it's the 12 by 12 vinyl composition tile, or going over it with epoxy in some areas. We felt that the price range we've got in here probably covers things like that. We obviously wouldn't want to do a luxury vinyl tile. Those are too soft probably for the high traffic areas. But that could be a material that we use in lower traffic areas, either carpet or LVT. So we just felt that we weren't going to get the result, or you weren't going to be happy probably in the end with what the sealed concrete would look like once we remove the tile.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm looking at whatever's gonna be the lowest cost and
Yep.
least amount of maintenance.
Yep.
I agree with Chris. When I first started, they did that with the Lincoln cafeteria. And they had the 12 by 12 tile in there. They took it out and they just did a finish over top of it. You could see every square of the 12 by 12 tile. So then we did put a different flooring over that. And that flooring's been in there for 14 years and it still looks like brand new. So very durable, no maintenance. So something like that, I'm sure we'll look at it. Yeah, it just doesn't work good when we have that 12 by 12 or the 9 by 9 tile down for that long. It's just everything between, it shows every tile.
Just one more question then, Jerry. Brian, does this get us out of North Grand?
Then we no longer need the wrestling in North Grand, and that's the only thing really that would anchor us to North Grand. Long term.
Anything else that we have there is just storage, or we're using storage for paperwork from central services and storage just for items that are excess of the school. So after the wrestling room's moved, there's no reason to have it.
All right, good.
And at the next board meeting, I'll bring forward a 1-year TLC contract, so that we can look at that year to year.
Okay, so by approving this, are we allowed to work out some of these subtle kinks, or is this a committal?
Chris, the question was, are we allowed to work out some subtle things as we approve this concept?
Absolutely. The main goal of this process was really just to establish that we were in the right budget range, I think was primarily the goal of this. We wanted to come up with a list of what these items might be, but there's a lot of wiggle room within each one of these. None of these are fully designed, even, just kind of the conversation Jerry was talking about with flooring. We're going to want to work with Jerry and his team to determine exactly what's the best flooring, what would they like to see in these high traffic areas to make sure that it's durable, it's low maintenance, it's going to last, etc. So there's a lot that still needs to go into this. This was really an exercise to identify what are the things that we might want to look at doing. So it's enhanced front entrance, it's lighting control lighting and lighting control replacement, construction of the weight room on the balcony, getting accessibility to those areas. Those are really kind of the high level conversations that this really is trying to get to and get to a decision on. Is yes, this is kind of the list of things we want to do. What exactly each one of these looks like is still up for debate and up for design. And it, again, just kind of establishing that budget range to make sure that we were within that range of money that you guys believe you have available with the SAVE funds, so you could encumber that money now before the state potentially takes it away.
Make a motion that this does, taking into account option 2 under the enhanced entrance, and say up to like $11 million. Within it, finalize whatever actually goes within that. Is that how we should?
That would be great. That would be great. Then I can go ahead and work with Tim Oswald and get going on the next part of it.
And that's emotional.
Yeah.
$11 million bond concept.
Yep.
A motion for an $11 million concept from FEH proposals. Do we have a second?
Okay.
Been properly moved and second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we can proceed to vote. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Move on to the main electrical switchgear at the high school.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Before you move on to the next item, do you want at least, I don't want to go off agenda, but do you want a quick update on where we are with the HVAC project?
Yes, please.
Okay. I've been talking with Modus today. We're working through the details on that, getting the drawings and the specifications put together. We're still on track to get that to you for your March 30th meeting. I think that was one of the things that you were talking about needing to vote on outside of your budget conversation on that date. We're still on track to get it to you by that date so that it can go out on the street on April 1st. And we've got it scheduled. We would be getting bids in by the 3rd week of April, I think it is. So we would be ready to start implementing that project, the first phase, which if you remember is the kind of the CTE, part of the CTE wing this summer. So we're still on track with that. And then as soon as that one's done and out for bid, we'll be moving on to the phase 2, which will take care of the HVAC and electrical upgrades for the rest of the high school project.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
On this main electrical switch gear, I mean, I'll make a motion that we approve that, but I don't remember the explanation for it.
Handles versus the.
Right. I know we need it.
How was that again?
The handles versus the thing.
Yeah.
And
Whatever we do have.
She's right on it. She's going like this is the old gear and then a flip like this is the new ones. Yeah. So it's the old switch gear that's right in the room, right on the other side of the wall there.
Yeah.
It started failing when we started putting the 5 units on the roof here. The second unit they put on the roof, they tried to disconnect the big disconnect in there and it failed. It wouldn't disconnect. and then it wouldn't turn
And
back on.
This will handle the new stuff that comes.
Yep, the new stuff will look like breakers in your house, just a lot bigger.
But and the new HVAC stuff that we're adding, this will handle whatever.
Nothing down here is getting done with because we've
Okay.
already done it. So
Okay.
this is why we pulled this one out of the project and we did it. We're doing it this summer so we can get it done just
Got it.
because it's not safe. So there's nothing gonna be done except a couple little things down here, the hood for the kiln and the clay traps. That's all that's gonna be done here unless, well, this got approved, but
Right.
it's still the HVAC is still gonna be here.
Yeah, but we need this
Yeah,
for.
Yeah.
We pulled this out.
that's what that done. It's just,
We pulled this out as part of his Pebble money.
Yeah.
Put it into his budget for the year, or the 5-year budget.
we just wanted to get going on this one because it's a safety issue.
Just one question, if you order that tomorrow, how long does it take to actually get that?
Yep, that's what, we get approved tomorrow. It is 6 to 8 weeks to get all those here. That's why we wanted to get it on this, because I got it on late after they already had the agenda, so that's why I wanted to get it on, so it gives them plenty of time. Get the switchgear here, it's gonna be, moved this summer. So this project will be done this summer when people aren't here, because they're gonna have to shut down this area in segments to do it.
I'll make a motion that we approve this electric switch gear for the high school.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we can proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Bring board comment. FFA banquet is this Thursday. Trap shooting is well underway. Kids will be back in session tomorrow, hopefully, as long as there's no more winter weather excitement.
Might be a little chilly.
It is gonna
Enjoyed
be
your
cold.
time in Thailand,
I did, loved it.
crazy
Yeah.
diseases,
No.
anything like that.
No.
Made it through all the border security and stuff like that, so it's good to have you back. I will take motions for adjournment unless there's other comments.
I did forget my superintendent's report to mention, I'm going to Cowell and Lloyd this week to talk about the good news with our property taxes. And then I have a budget presentation I do with little buckets and where the money's
Wednesday
spent.
night,
Yeah, Wednesday night, I've got two stops on the.
5:30 in Lloyd, 6:30.
Yes.
Cowell.
Yes,
Ryan, are you gonna be
two stops.
putting that publication on?
I certainly can do that.
I
Yeah,
think that would be a great
yeah, absolutely.
service.
And I can do one back in town here too.
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't need to be the same event.
I presented to Rotary and to Lions Club with a similar presentation and to the senior center.
You're professional.
So it'll be the 4th or 5th time.
I think that would be helpful
Do that.
content.
Yeah,
It is
That's
helpful. Yeah.
positive news to share.
Yep.
Thank you.
very good. Take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 33.
Probably moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
You.